fan of the Hodaki Big Show podcast? Make sure you check out more from Jay, Smike and Keezy on their Instagram at Hodaki Big Show, or tune in to them 4 to 7 every weekday on Radio Hodaki. Thanks, mate.
No worries.
Thanks, mate.
Hey, thank you, mate.
I can only just hear you, Mogi.
Okay, I'll turn this up. How's that?
Yeah, that's better.
Is that good?
I can only just hear me, too. Oh, there we go. That's better,
yeah.
Keezy.
Yeah,
That's
your headphones were turned down.
No, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay. How are we going, fellas? Just to let everyone know, we're doing this podcast from Emerson's Brewery in beautiful Dunedin. I tell you what, fellas, what a treat to be back in the great city of Dunedin.
It's been a long while. We've never done it as a unit. And the lovely little pub, this one. Well, big pub, actually. And I can say, hands down, this would be the busiest a pub has ever been.
You know what's funny about this?
To one of our OBs.
It's 3:35, so the show's in 25 minutes, and this is quadruple as many people were at the Rotorua show in total.
Yeah.
Ever.
And we haven't even started yet.
No.
So, but
It's a really good setup, though. Very open plan. And I've got a feeling in my testicles, fellas, it's going to be a doozy.
I hope so.
Well, I mean, who knows? It'll be what it is.
I mean, well, it's down to us, really. I mean, we're the ones that control that.
Yeah.
And the quality of the
I
content.
guess so, Keezy.
That's true, Keezy, actually.
Yeah, man.
Just don't fuck it up would be my only thought.
You can't fuck this show up, man.
That's true, man.
An idiot could do this show.
Yeah, that's true.
Three idiots
That's
do.
true.
Yeah.
But it was nice to get out and about, and it's about 3 degrees, blowing a gale, pissing with rain. When we arrived at about 9 o'clock this morning, it was like pitch black.
Yeah. It was miserable.
They really turned it on for us on arrival.
You
But I do have an affinity for Dunedin, one of my great love affairs down here.
Yeah, I've heard that a few times, Jason. What was her name?
Don't know.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, you do.
I seriously can't remember her name.
That's concerning.
So you had because you had
Well, I mean, I did at the time.
Oh, yeah,
obviously.
sure.
I mean, I knew who she was at the time, Mogi.
Yeah, it's not as important.
Well,
now.
I think I did.
Are you Facebook friends?
No. I couldn't, like, if she turned up today, and I'm not saying, that's a good or bad thing, I wouldn't recognise her, I'm sure.
Well, also
we should put a call out during the show.
No.
It was, 27 years ago?
Yes, it was a long, long time ago.
Do you reckon she's still...
Carries a flame? Well,
I was going to say hottie, but yeah, carries the flame.
oh, well, yeah, I'm sure she was a hottie.
Based on what you were hammered back in those days.
Yeah, true. That's true. But...
Sober for
Yeah.
periods.
Imagine if she did show up, though, and was like, Jace, it's me,
Yeah,
your long-lost love.
maybe.
And she's like, say my name one more time like you used to do. And you're
Yeah.
like, Din.
On the crest of an orgasm.
Oh, like
Yeah.
crest of a week.
Crest of a-
Disappointing.
Like
Shame-
crest of a weeping ice
shame-filled.
cream.
It's like when a wave broke like 20 seconds ago, and now it's just a sort of foamy bit lapping at the shore.
Yeah, frothy jizz.
Yeah, man,
That's
so
what
good.
yeah.
That's what I had back in my heyday. But no, I was telling Keezy that I even wrote her poetry. I remember that.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. And I also remember that she found my poetry quite grim.
I'd imagine that would be
Well,
the
I
case
find
with
it.
you.
I find a lot
Yeah.
of the stuff you do quite grim.
And
Even your talk about frothy jizz is a little bit on the
That was pretty
grim
grim.
side.
and I remember walking along the coastline because she was along the coastline and it was windy and gay. It was like Wuthering Heights, Mogi.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. With the beach crashing
Heathcliff.
onto the shore
Yeah.
and the wind whistling through my magnificent locks.
Did you, when you write poetry, when you wrote it back in the day, did you write like rhyming poetry?
No.
So you
No.
wrote the lame
it was,
kind.
It was Voaber based.
So like, for,
I did rhyming couplets. A lot of mine were rhyming couplets.
Right. No, I felt rhyming was more for deer brains.
Yeah, I could see that.
but like a good limerick.
Nah. It was passionate, it was emotional, it was brooding, and it referenced the ocean a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have any of this poetry left over
The
anyway?
vast.
Well, no, because I told you that
Your ex-girlfriend.
well, was she? Yeah, I think she was my ex.
Well, she has to be your ex in order for you to have an affair.
Well, no, technically, if I'm having an affair, I wouldn't have an ex because it would be an affair.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But no, I think I was free.
Yeah, right, okay. But you just
and,
wronged her.
Yeah, she ripped up all 500 of my poems written, typed out.
You had a typewriter, did you?
Yeah, I had a typewriter. I loved that typewriter too, a little Olivetti.
I found a typewriter to be a bit distancing from the magic of poetry. I was very much pen on paper.
I was aroused by seeing. Well, I mean, I always wrote it on paper first.
Oh,
and then I type it
you
out.
transcribed.
When I'd
God.
finished my piece.
Yeah, good.
Do a little few alterations, maybe.
Yes, you have to.
And there was something about the magic of typing on a white piece of paper, and it made it feel real to me.
Right. So you were so into poetry back then. Surely you've done poetry in the last sort of 15 years.
I do it quite genuinely, spasmodically.
You have to be inspired to poetry.
Yes.
You can't just go, I'm going to do some poetry.
And it was often interlaced with my lovemaking. So if I'm not doing much lovemaking, I'm not doing much poetry.
Sorry, Jace, Mogie's ribeye has arrived.
Yeah, he's just... Bogey's just ordered
20 to
a
4
ribeye.
having a ribeye. So good, man.
We're going to touch on your bowel issues during the show, actually.
With your fingers?
We're quite concerned.
Yeah.
Because we give poor old Keezy a lot of jep about his steamers. His midnight steamers.
At least I limit mine to midnight.
That's true.
Oh, God. Kate's come over with a whole lot of night and day
God.
backpacks. What's going on here? Oh, my God. She wants to... We're doing the podcast, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Quick, can I get a video of Hoodie J trying to hop into this backpack?
The Hauraki Big Show Podcast. The Hauraki Big Show Podcast.
Good stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, we should touch on that. I did. I used to do a lot of poetry as well, all rhyming. I got my first job in film off the back of a poem.
Oh, wow.
I wrote a poem,
Yeah.
and I went and had the interview, and the woman that gave me the job, who's become a very, very, very good friend, said she would never have hired me if it wasn't for the poem, because I sent the poem in, and that's how I got the interview.
Wow.
And then she was really shocked by what a boring individual I was in person.
Sure.
Compared to the poem. But it was because I was always wanted to work in film, so I was so scared that I was terrified of being myself. I thought, oh, shit, I better not be myself, or they're never going to hire me.
Yeah.
But in fact, that's what they wanted.
Did you tell her that was why you were so boring in the interview?
Why? No, I nearly got fired.
Right.
I nearly got fired on that job. So that was my first film job, and I was doing Return of the King, pickups for Return of the King on the Lava Unit. And she talked to her boyfriend at the time, and she was like, I just don't know what to do with this guy. He's so fucking boring.
Wow.
We're going to have to fire him. And then they borrowed my runner's van to move house, and I kept a diary, so I would write all of my adventures from the weekend into this diary.
Do you still have that diary?
Yes. And they read the diary, and she was like, okay, well, he's in there somewhere. And her boyfriend was just like, you can't fire this guy.
Can we please read that diary?
Find
a few pages and shit. That'd be gold.
Yeah. No, it was pretty hectic.
I would give anything now to have those 500 poems I wrote back.
I bet you would.
Because as I say, I think 10 of them were publishable.
Right.
20 of
and
them...
the listener?
20, I don't know, 20 of them were verging on publishing, and all the rest were probably shit.
Yeah, but you must have been disheartened. You probably didn't write for a long time after that.
I stopped immediately.
Yeah.
That was the tragedy of it. And actually, that ex-girlfriend said to me, and I've told you guys this before, she said, that's the thing, ripping up all your poems, I've still never really forgiven myself for. She felt genuinely bad about it.
Yeah.
Well, as she should.
I was having sex with someone else at the time, so...
Even still.
Yes, she did
But
feel
she
bad
wanted
about
to
it.
hurt you in the same way that you
I hurt her,
yeah.
yes. And at the time I went, fair cop,
Yes.
fair cop,
Yeah.
But it was her brother, eh?
who I was making love to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was the other thing too, the fact that I kept it in the family.
Yes.
You know what
Right.
I mean?
See, I didn't know that part
they
of
don't
it.
like that.
Oh, yeah. And, it was a tragedy.
Yeah. Wow.
Because you've had some bad breakups, eh, Keezy?
I've never had a bad breakup.
Haven't you?
No, I'm very, in terms of my love life stories, they're all pretty tame.
Right. So you've never had any passionate affairs or anything like that?
Nah, certainly, when you're perving at work, I go, oh, wouldn't mind being like Hoodie J and, having a bit of a perv every now and then and, maybe running an affair. And then I'm like, nah, I'm pretty lucky with what I've got. I should probably just, you know what I mean?
Sure, man.
Someone might rip up all of your poetry, Keezy, which would be a tragedy.
Yeah, it
You
would
were
be a
quiet just
tragedy.
then,
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's so interesting, isn't it?
Well, because it's funny, because, like, I look at Mogi and I think stallion, and I think virile, and I think passionate, all of that sort of stuff. And so I'm not surprised that you said that about yourself, and that you're quite boring sexually. And
That's not what I said. I'm pretty sure it's not what I said.
You know, and you got your little button mushroom in it. You don't want to be flashing that around. I mean,
What?
I mean, if you had something to be, showing off or proud of,
Jace, the truth is, I actually have a massive penis.
do you?
Seriously.
How big is it?
No, like, it's big.
No, how big?
Like, whatever you think yours is, mine is,
I
and
want,
more.
I want specific.
No, seriously,
Keezy.
Jace.
Have you measured it?
No, shit, no. I don't have a measuring tape on hand. Seriously, it's massive.
We can use one of those. They've got those meter things on iPhone where you set. You can just do it with you set a place and then it draws a line out across.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could do that. Absolutely. We need a bigger room, though.
Do you regard yourself as a shower or a grower or both?
I can be tiny if I want. Like, real tiny.
Right.
On request.
Yeah. No, I don't want a request.
Just a bit smaller.
It's situational.
Bit smaller.
Yeah,
Perfect.
how small do you want it?
Yeah.
What about this? And then I can be obviously ginormous if I want. So it's quite nice having that freedom and that sort of just like different options available. Just had about 8 massive backbones sit down in front of
I
us.
tell you what, fellas, they're packing the people in right up close to the stage here. It's freak. It's giving me.
But this is
anxiety.
okay because, as I say, Jace, we've got
It's like a natural
two
barrier.
two-seater leather couches plus 2 leather armchairs either side, and so it acts as a barrier. These guys look like, apparently they're VIPs, which is acting as a barrier between the actual backbones and us.
Yeah.
It's a little
What
fence.
the good thing is, Mogi, like, who do they want? They want Hoodie J. If it starts getting weird, we just throw him to the wolves and we just get.
Absolutely.
That's how we do it.
Just in terms of showing and growing, I'm both.
Right.
Like,
When you show it to someone, you start growing.
well, even when I'm just showing, there's plenty there,
Right.
and when I grow it, it's almost intimidating.
Right. Almost.
Yeah.
It's because I've got you pegged as like a tiny penis kind of guy.
Yeah.
Because you said, Jace, that when you used to get your fully, your back in the day rager,
Yeah.
that all the blood would rush in and you'd pass out.
Sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah. It'd be.
And then you'd come to him and be like, "Was I good, darling? Was I good?"
No.
When I had a full rager, put it this way, it was giving me old belly button a bit of a tickle.
When you had a full rager, you had to be hooked up to one of those machines that pumps extra blood into your body.
Yeah. I had to get blood transfusion.
I think that's probably enough for the podcast, by the way. So we'll wrap things up there. Thanks for... Hey, come on down to Emerson's Brewery.
Well, it's a bit late.
No, it's a bit late now.
Nah, come on down.
Tonight,
We're here right now. We're about to have a live show. It's going to be
It's
excellent.
going to be good.
Thanks, mate.
Make sure you listen to the Hodaki Big Show 4 to 7 every weekday on Radio Hodaki. Thank you.